Welcome to The Debate. We're your hosts from Defense Report, bringing you sharp, no-nonsense breakdowns of the latest in global defense. Today we're covering a fundamental shift on the modern battlefield.
That's right. The conflict in Ukraine has really created an existential crisis for conventional artillery. The duel between counter-battery fire and highly mobile 155mm guns, well, it's become the central strategic narrative of high-intensity conflict.
Absolutely. The battlefield is just saturated with persistent surveillance drones, loitering munitions, advanced counter-battery radars. It means survivability is no longer about armor thickness, but about sheer speed. And this environment is forcing NATO allies to make some really fundamental choices about the future of their mobile artillery.
And those choices are defined by two radically different yet leading design philosophies. On one side, you have the combat-proven doctrine of extreme lightweight mobility. That's epitomized by the French Caesar, the system that, really defined the early success of Ukrainian counterfire.
And on the other, you have this massive technological leap represented by the German RCH-155, a high-tech, fully automated system on that heavy Boxer chassis, which, while Europe is investing in heavily, Germany, the UK, they're all in on it.
Which brings us to our core strategic question. In the face of modern, persistent surveillance, is superior operational effectiveness achieved through the established high-speed mobility model, the Caesar's philosophy of agility? Or do you need the leap to full automation, enhanced protection, and that unique tactical flexibility of fire on the move offered by the RCH-155?
My position is pretty clear. I think the proven combat agility, the low logistical footprint, and the extreme speed of the Caesar model remain the true strategic multiplier. It's the gold standard for immediate, scalable impact. For me, speed is protection.
And I come at it from a different angle. The Caesar's success was, I would argue, phase-specific. The RCH-155, with its full automation and robust crew protection, represents the necessary evolution. It offers the superior future doctrine for surviving an increasingly lethal surveillance environment.
Okay, so let's start with the Caesar, or the camion équipé d'un système d'artillerie. It didn't just perform in Ukraine. It established the blueprint for survivability from 2022 onward. Its whole philosophy is defined by two things: low weight and high speed. The 6x6 variant, which is the one we see most, clocks in around 17.7 tons. That low combat mass isn't just a detail, it's a strategic asset. It means the Caesar is deployable by standard aircraft like the C-130 and the A-40M, giving commanders a kind of theater-wide flexibility that the much heavier RC-155 just can't match. This combination of weight and speed is what enabled that crucial shoot-and-scoot doctrine at a frankly unprecedented tempo. We're talking about units setting up, firing a burst of 6 rounds, and displacing in under 100 seconds total. So that's 60 seconds to set up and under 40 seconds to get out of the firing position. This rapidity has proven consistently faster than Russian counter-battery systems, whether it's acoustic detection, signals intelligence, or their Zoopark radars can effectively react. And the data is decisive here. There are about 120 Caesar units operating in Ukraine, and the survivability rate is still above 90%. That's with minimal confirmed losses after 2 years of intense fighting. It's just seamlessly integrated into Ukraine's C4I SNR networks, making it a reliable, long-range asset hitting targets up to 55 kilometers out.
I agree that the Caesar defined the benchmark for quick displacement. But those impressive 90% survivability stats, for me, they actually highlight the necessity of protection and automation as the threat evolves. The Caesar's reliance on speed alone is, I think, becoming inadequate in a battle space that's now dominated by persistent low-cost drones like the Orlan 10, and more critically by sophisticated loitering munitions like the Lancet. Waiting 40 seconds after firing to scoot, that might already be too late when these sensor-to-shooter loops are collapsing in real time. The RCH-155, the remote-controlled howitzer, it moves beyond just rapid displacement to full protected engagement. Its core advantage is the unmanned artillery gun module, the AGM. mounted on that heavily armored Boxer 8x8 chassis. Now, that chassis pushes the combat weight up to 39 tons, but it offers genuine IFV-level ballistic and mine protection for the crew. And crucially, it shrinks the crew down to just 2 people, a driver and a commander, who are completely separate from the gun module. We're minimizing crew risk entirely, not just trying to outrun the threat. And the RCH-155 is unique. It's the only fielded artillery system that can fire its full 155 mil caliber on the move at high speed, up to 100 kilometers per hour, with 360-degree firing capability. This allows units to stay in constant motion, which makes them uniquely difficult targets for any kind of persistent ISO.
This very definition of survivability. I find the RCH-155's massive Boxer chassis, 39 tons, to be not just a logistical burden, but a strategic liability. You talk about the survivability of the crew, but what about the strategic survivability of the entire force? I mean, logistics win wars, right? The Caesar's strategic flexibility, its ability to be swiftly airlifted across continents by common tactical aircraft, that allows for immediate force projection. That's critical for European defense. The RCH-155's weight requires significantly heavier strategic air transport, which limits your rapid response capability. And then there's the operational burden. Higher fuel consumption, more strain on roads and bridges, increased maintenance demands, it all compounds the strategic cost. I would argue that rapid displacement after firing is the proven pragmatically effective method. It seems superior to what I see as the theoretical complexity of trying to fire a high-recoil weapon while moving at speed.
That focus on strategic airlift is a valid point, but it risks confusing, I think, operational deployment with tactical survivability on the actual front line. The RCH-155's weight isn't a flaw, it's a feature that's necessitated by the threat. The CASR's wheeled, lightly armored cab, it offers minimal protection against shrapnel or direct hit from a small drone. The Boxer chassis gives the 2-person crew protection against up to 14.5mm rounds and significant mine resistance. That's a necessary guarantee in a fragmented, heavily mined environment like we're seeing. And furthermore, the argument that fire on the move is theoretical, I think that overcomplicates a mature technology. The RCH-155 uses an advanced digital fire control system derived from decades of work on the PZH-2000. It's a technological imperative, not some gimmick. Why would you accept a 40-second window of vulnerability when you can eliminate it entirely by maintaining constant motion? The shift is away from simply outrunning counterfire to never being reliably stationary long enough to be targeted in the first place. That's the difference between a 2022 doctrine and a 2026 doctrine.
I'm not sure I agree with that premise. I mean, let's talk physics for a second. Firing a 155mm howitzer generates massive recoil. For the RCH-155 to maintain accuracy while moving, its stabilization and fire control have to work flawlessly, compensating for vehicle sway, speed, everything. That places immense, continuous stress on the chassis and the weapon system itself, which has to lead to higher wear rates, more complexity in field repairs, and, inevitably, lower long-term readiness. The Caesar strategy is mechanically simpler, more robust, and it's been validated by its high readiness figures.
I'm just not convinced that complexity negates the tactical advantage. The Boxer chassis is engineered for exactly this: high stability, high payload. And its inclusion is strategic. It aligns with this pan-European standardization. The UK is committing to the Boxer for its mobile fires platform. The idea is to achieve a common logistical backbone across allied forces. So this standardization significantly reduces the long-term logistical burden for the whole alliance. It's a strategic trade-off. You sacrifice some tactical airlift for long-term interoperability and, well, robust crew protection. Which leads us right to our second point, cost effectiveness versus the technological imperative. And yes, the RCH-155 is expensive. The estimate is between 12 and 17 million euros per unit. That's roughly twice the price of a Caesar. I acknowledge that. But this high cost is, I think, justified by the automation, the comprehensive crew protection, and that unique survivability-enhancing fire-on-the-move capability. This tech is an investment in minimizing crew risk, which is invaluable, and maximizes the platform's relevance deep into the 2030s. And on top of that, the RCH-155 offers superior range. By using advanced ammunition like the guided Volcano rounds, it can reach out to 70 kilometers. That gives forces a decisive standoff advantage, allowing them to engage deep targets, command posts, logistics hubs from a much safer distance. The argument is that this system offers a proportional, even exponential increase in operational capability, precisely where the future threat is greatest.
That's a compelling argument, but it's based on future potential. Let's look at today. Superior strategic results are being achieved at a lower cost and a higher scale right now. The Caesar, at maybe $5 to $7 million per unit, is demonstrably more cost-effective. This affordability is what allowed donor nations to accelerate deliveries and enabled Ukraine to rapidly form multiple Caesar-equipped regiments. That's what fundamentally offset Russia's traditional advantage in artillery volume. And you can't overstate the strategic utility of volume and rapid deployment. A high-intensity conflict requires hundreds of mobile artillery pieces, not, a few dozen. Every 17 million euros spent on one RCH-155 could potentially buy 3 Caesars. In the context of sustaining Ukraine's efforts, the Caesar allows Kyiv to maintain a lethal, long-range fire capability across a much broader front. The sheer scale you get at that price point translates directly into strategic resilience. We have to question if the extra expense of the RCH-155 actually delivers a proportionate increase in combat effectiveness.
I see why you emphasize volume, but volume of vulnerable systems simply provides Russia with more targets to hit with cheap Lancet drones. We're entering an era of quality over quantity. The RCH-155 is about platform longevity and target certainty. While the CSR has to manage its 40-second displacement window, the RCH-155 guarantees the platform is constantly moving, which maximizes its survival odds. And that high initial cost, it pays for full automation. That means fewer human errors, faster target processing, and reduced strain on training and manpower. In the long run, fielding fewer personnel per battery is a massive cost saving.
Okay, let's turn to the third and final crucial point: immediate operational readiness and integration. The Caesar is operationally mature. It demonstrated high readiness rates, around 60%, even under constant harsh combat operations. And importantly, it was seamlessly integrated into Ukraine's networks the moment it arrived. This meant immediate strategic impact. That matters when every minute is critical. This maturity, its immediate high-volume impact when Ukraine was under maximum pressure, that's definitive proof of the Caesar model's strategic relevance.
I'm not entirely convinced by that, because the very reason for the RCH-155's delayed deployment highlights its advanced nature. We know the operational deployment of the first 54 RCH-155 systems is facing delays. Why? Because Germany is finalizing its deep digital integration into Ukraine's battlefield management system, Kropova. Kropova is Ukraine's digital nervous center for coordinating fires. For the RCH-155 to use its full capabilities, especially receiving real-time firing solutions for high-precision, long-range strikes, it needs bespoke, sophisticated integration. This complexity takes time, delaying its full impact until, late 2025 or 2026. But this sophisticated integration is absolutely essential for systems designed to operate as truly networked fire nodes in the 2030s. The Caesar was integrated quickly because it fit a simpler, established template. The RCH-155 is taking longer because it is defining a new, more complex template.
But defining a new template is admirable. But when a nation is fighting for its life, delayed capability is often capability denied. The Caesar delivered immediate, tangible results precisely when the strategic need was highest. Its simplicity is its strength. Less complexity means less to break, less proprietary software to integrate, and a faster time to the front line. The fact that the Caesar achieves high precision and network functionality today proves that the operational need for this high-end automation hasn't yet outweighed the strategic need for mass and speed.
Speed of delivery is vital, but survivability trumps everything. While the Caesar was the right gun for 2022, the RCH-155 is the necessary gun for the future, a future where loitering munitions and ubiquitous sensors guarantee that any stationary target will be eliminated. That high technological entry cost is a necessary barrier to ensure our forces are equipped with systems that minimize risk while maximizing effect.
So to summarize, I think the Caesar model proved definitively that flexibility, a low logistical footprint, and extreme speed are the defining characteristics of surviving modern counter-battery fire. This doctrine has been validated by hundreds of thousands of rounds fired in real combat, saving lives and preserving combat power on a massive, scalable level. We shouldn't abandon proven agility for expensive, complex automation that sacrifices strategic flexibility.
And I would conclude by saying that while Caesar excelled in the initial phase, the escalating drone threat necessitates the RCH-155's complete automation and fire-on-the-move capability. This design philosophy is a critical commitment to minimizing crew risk and maximizing tactical flexibility on the future battlefield, ensuring our artillery remains lethal and, crucially, truly survivable.
What's clear, I think we can agree, is that both systems show a clear global shift toward precise 155mm mobile fire and sophisticated digital integration. It's forcing a reevaluation of legacy tracked platforms everywhere. The era of static artillery is decisively over.
Indeed. The full impact of the highly automated RCH-155 design remains to be seen in the unique proving ground of Ukraine's conflict, but its very existence reflects a hard-won understanding of where artillery survivability must evolve to meet the challenges of the next decade.
You've been listening to Defense Report, where we analyze the latest in military strategy, global defense, and advanced weaponry.
Subscribe to Defense Reports, your go-to source for timely, in-depth military and defense reports. We'll catch you next time.